Today I need to continue with the radio install. I have to put in some speakers and I need to do the wiring, so that's DC power for the head unit and speaker wire for the speakers. And now I'm going to do the same a little bit further down. Alright, so now that I know that the speakers fit in the holes, before I secure those in, I'm going to run some speaker cable through the base of the bed and up the bulkhead to the stereo system and hook those leads in. The speaker cables have been run through from this end and this end. I've drilled some holes through the support timbers, fed the cable, the speaker wire through them, and then out through the bulkhead at the other side. These ones came with quite handy spades, one for negative, one for positive, different sizes so you can't get them wrong. There's both speakers mounted onto the next job, which is wiring them up to the back of the head unit, and then I need to supply some power to the back of the head unit, and then I need to do some tests. And according to this, which is the diagram that came with the head unit, I need to be looking at the grey cables for the front right and white cables for the front left. It's set up for 4 speakers. I'm only having 2. So I'm going to strip these and I'm going to connect them. There's a line on each, a black line on the negative cables, so I know to connect those to the negative cables that I have coming from the speakers. I'm going to strip these, solder, tape, and then move on to the next job. So speaker cables are now connected. They should be fine, and now I need to move on to the power. I need a positive cable running from here and a negative cable running from here all the way down into the electrical box, which is under the bed. The cable that I'm just using regular household cable. I stripped this out of an extension lead that I have. I'm using this because I have it, it's what's available to me, and I know that it's rated highly enough to handle any power output that's going to be passing through that, so that's fine. I'm joining these up using chocolate blocks for the power. These are pretty good, actually. I've never had any problems with them. They're not like Scotch locks, which are abysmal. These are essentially the same kind of things that you use. There's the same kind of internal connector that you use on a plug, on a mains plug, so we're all good with that. then the positive to the positive. Okay, now I just need to feed those through into the electrical compartment and get those wired in. Let's go. Oh, you can take a shortcut. And so this needs to go into a spare position in the mini fuse box, and then from there out to the positive terminal on the battery. Okay, so there's the positive going into the fuse box, which I'm going to put on the bottom one so that I know it's the radio. And I need a piece of cable that goes from the other side of the fuse box to the positive on the battery, and I'll need a loop connector on the other end. So I figure a 5 amp fuse is probably more than enough for just a radio on its own. In a typical car configuration with a radio and amps and multifunction displays and other things like that, there's usually a 10 amp fuse in there to protect the cabling and the wiring used and the unit. So, you know, I'm going to go with a 5 amp fuse. If it blows, then I know I need to increase it, and I'll probably put a 10 amp fuse in. But for now, 5 amps, I think that's enough. Let's stick this in. Hear it powering on. Looks like we have power. How ironic is that? The battery power died in the camera as a gift power to the radio, but the radio is on. It does have power. I don't have an antenna plugged in there yet, so I've got a selection of bad CDs to try.
The radio works absolutely brilliantly. I love Sheryl Crow, but I don't want a copyright infringement from her, so that's why there is no sound here.